Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios, weekly Wing It number 135 here on Rumble and YouTube. And starting it off with us tonight is Raven Nevermore.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, just you and me starting off tonight, and you're playing Minecraft, and I am playing Phelan. You know what? Actually, I gotta think about that here for a second. The 1.0 is not out yet. I mean, this is on Steam. But since the whole thing is not released yet, I don't know if we can stream those yet.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the game. Some of them will let you do it, and others are kind of picky.
Yeah, and I have no idea which it is. I was gonna fire it up, but yeah, I don't think I saw anything anywhere that said you can't stream it.
Yeah,
let me double check on Steam here and see if it says anything.
That's one of those frustrating things, is that you would think that people would want the free advertising, and sometimes it turns out that no, they don't. And it's like, why do you not want people that enjoy the product to show off enjoying the product?
Oh, I don't see anything here that says you can't. And I kind of doubt that that these folks would have a problem with it, because I mean, there are clips of it all over Twitter that they just post. They just post video clip after video clip. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they may actually want the advertising then.
Oh, let's see here. Around a bit, if my lagging computer will let me. Yeah, there's a reason I'm talking to you via the phone, because my computer is now stuck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I tried to swap the windows, and now I have a blue grayed out screen halfway between two windows. I'm not even touching the mouse pad, and it's got that little hand grip that pops up and you go to move something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just holding on to it in the middle of the screen.
Oh gosh.
Up there it goes. It woke up.
That's good. Yeah, my dad was having problems with the keyboard today, and he's like, how do I fix this? And I gave him a bunch of ideas and stuff, because first thing I was like, well, have you tried rebooting it? And he's like, well, I can't get the keyboard to work, so how do I reboot it? Do I just unplug it and plug it back in? Not really optimal, but I asked if the mouse was working, and the mouse was working, and he went and did a bunch of stuff, and whenever he got back to me later, he's like, the keyboard was unplugged.
What's up, Fu Man Blue? Good to see you. He says 705 like TBS.
What's TBS?
Wasn't that a TV station? It's like the shows usually don't start right on the hour, like 5 minutes after.
Huh, okay.
So if he says 705, Fu, I'm guessing you're in the Central Time Zone.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I was going to try and play this right off the studio screen, but I have to actually be on this window for this to actually move around. I already did start a game with this. Yes, I named her the Chick. It was funny when the dialogue boxes open up. Nice to meet you, the chick. I'm like, oh, now I'm kind of regretting that choice. Next time I'll call her like Jana of the Jungle or something.
Hmm. I hit another word salad thing in my writing today. I
Yeah.
was going through and because at a point where so one of the previous side trips they've discovered this pink obelisk, and there's all this limestone around. A lot of it's really sharp and everything, but this one obelisk is smooth. And in determining things, they find out that it has healing magic, and so it's this big deal. And so initially they got to use it because they've been fighting a lot of orcs and hobgoblins because that's what's in the area. And so the obelisk gives them heals, which they need for after all the combat and stuff. And but whenever they leave, they end up going and talking to some of the locals and stuff, and they're aware that there's a traveling priest in the area, but they've never been able to meet him yet because he's about the only time that he's ever around is when they're busy with other stuff, and so they kind of miss paths with him. But they've been able to leave a message with him and inform him about the fact that there's this pink healing obelisk out in the middle of this area, and eventually they get to a certain point, and they actually do get to meet him, and he's asking for their help to guard because the clerics orders come out with a lot of other priests and laborers and stuff, and they're planning on trying to move the obelisk into the human area so the humans can have control over it. Well, they know it's probably going to be an issue with the orcs and hobgoblins, and so they're wanting the characters to help guard the priests and laborers. And initially, there's nothing really going on or happens. And after a couple of days, a couple of orcs show up. Well, not a big deal to deal with them. And a couple of days later, the hobgoblins show up. Not a big deal to deal with them because both instances are a small group of scouts. But over the next month of them trying to protect the clerics and laborers and such, more and more and more show up, and then eventually, like their whole like, small army where they've got like the shaman and spellcasters and other things are showing up, and I had all these words for different things, and by the time I got to actually write all of this down, I'm like, what were the types of spellcasters they were again? I don't remember.
Yeah, I got something I thought would be interesting to talk about when a few more pop in. Are you familiar with the Tiffany effect?
Tiffany effect. I feel like I should know that.
Yeah, I just heard about it for the first time today. I had never heard of it before, but it's the whole thing is like I guess it started from a book where there was a character named Tiffany. Now this is a medieval setting,
Hmm.
and the name Tiffany was around in that time period. However, most folks they read it and they thought that's odd because to them the name Tiffany is a modern name.
Yeah.
So it took them out of the story, even though it was historically accurate.
Huh.
So the Tiffany effect is pretty much things you put into a fantasy story or a period piece that are accurate to the time period, but seem inaccurate to the audience based on what we've learned in TV and stuff. Like for an example, I heard I saw this on a video today. I might have been from the Grungeon Master. I'm not sure, but hang on just a second. Which
Hey,
over?
Christina.
See, add new stage. Hail.
Hail, friends. How goes?
Going all right.
Hey, James.
Hello, world. Hope everyone's having a good first day of the week.
Well, I guess this week's been better than last week.
At least so far.
Yep.
And now that I'm back on the studio tab, thanks for calling that out, by the way, Raven. Hail, Christy. I didn't see the chat because I was on the game screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I started seeing stuff moving, and I was like, "Oh, who else is over there?" And it's like, "Oh, they're having a conversation."
It looks
Yeah.
like it wants to communicate.
So, James, are you familiar with the Tiffany effect?
No, it sounds annoying though.
Yeah.
So actually, I had just watched a YouTube video on oh gosh, now I can't remember what the name of the movie is. The one where they're all playing actors in a movie about Vietnam.
Oh, Tropic. Is it Tropic Thunder? Pretty sure it's
Maybe
Tropic Thunder.
Ben Stiller and
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's the one. That actually has a bunch of the video that I was watching was about the weaponry because they did a really good job with certain things to be
Okay.
time frame accurate, and then they chose other things that are not historically accurate, but that Hollywood uses. And so it was like, are they really doing this on purpose to make fun of Hollywood, or are they doing this because they don't know that they did it wrong? And it
Because
just,
they are Hollywood.
yeah. But it's just funny because, like, Tiffany. Oh, that's not a name from that time frame, and actually it is. But it was quite funny and entertaining because he points out all the different weapons that are historically inaccurate versus the ones that are actually historically accurate. But then it's like, because Robert Downey Jr.'s shotgun is actually historically accurate.
Okay.
However, Robert Downey Jr. does not carry it the way that anybody during that time frame would have carried it. Nor, because he's like waving it around like a stick, and I think he only fires it twice, and both times was in the action sequence when they're shooting the movie portion of it, not when they're in actual combat. And then like I think it's the M60, the big huge machine gun. He's like, they would probably, that was time frame accurate, but then the way that the guys like using it and waving it around and stuff may not have been historically accurate.
Well, yeah. I think for some of them it would make sense because they're actors playing a part.
Yeah.
I was watching a thing today on was a Galaxy Quest and how it was actors playing actors in that as well, and they went into somebody was analyzing like the nuance of they were playing people who kind of not only were a little broken but were buying into their own BS, and then
Yeah.
had to become the people they portrayed in their adventures. Wish I paid a little more attention to it. Now it was actually kind of fascinating, but I was driving while listening, so my attention was split. But it sounds like a little bit of a similar concept going on in there.
Oh yeah.
Good old Tropic Thunder. That's a classic. It's there's a lot of there's a lot of movies actually similar to Tropic Thunder that have fell at the wayside. At least people don't talk about them. I
Yeah,
remember those. This one called. Well, actually, what was it? Something. I think it was literally called Something About Love, or a title similar to that. And it's essentially supposed to take like an early 2000s look at the dating scene at the time, and it takes place all in one room with like first five guys who are friends hanging out after leaving the bar, and they're all kind of give their take on dating. One of them's gay, one of them's just a player, and they will. I think it's a movie that they leave best forgotten because there's a lot of individuals in that movie that today would consider themselves woke, or at least a few. One of which goes on a, I would say it's like a 5, maybe 7 minute rant about why he doesn't like gay people, and he goes hard for like a good 5 minutes. You're like, dang, he's not stopping.
wow.
Yeah, and just a couple years ago, I remember seeing that exact same actor, Matthew Lillard, who played him, um, talk about how great it is for LGBT people coming out and stuff. I'm like, man, you're gonna hide that, and you're like at the bottom of your filmography.
Oh yeah.
They will come after you, man. They will come after you.
Yeah, well, anyway, James, the Tiffany effect was, I don't remember what book it was the term came from, but it was a medieval setting, and there was a character in there named Tiffany. And the audience, seeing such a modern name, was taken out of the story and they didn't like it, not
Uh-huh.
realizing Tiffany was actually an accurate name to the period. So, a Tiffany effect is like when you put something in that's historically accurate, but it's not in the
Cultural zeitgeist.
it's not in the cultural zeitgeist that would be a thing. So they see it as out of place, and it kind of knocks them out of the story, even though
Yeah.
it fits perfectly. For example, the video I was hearing address it today was talking about how in many of the medieval castles were actually very bright and colorful because a lot of them were painted.
Oh
But we
yeah.
always see in movies that they're all just raw stone.
Gray and drab.
Yeah, and so if somebody put in their movie their castle that was like painted a bright color, everybody would take it out thinking that's gaudy and inappropriate for the time period when that was actually
Uh-huh.
part of the course back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that does happen. That does happen. I think that happened in the movie. Was it called The Immortals? It was about like gods and crap. Um, I think it was the Greek gods, but it was supposed to be like an ancient civilization. And there's this scene where they kind of fight in this really cramped corridor.
Yeah,
Just two armies charging at each other through this really cramped corridor, and they don't fight in formation, which they believe would be historically accurate to that time because it was prior to sort of the invention of formations. But it also released after the movie 300, so people complained that they weren't fighting in formation.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big one. Like, look, you're fighting in a small corridor. Don't you guys want to take up like phalanx and shit?
Yeah, well, when did that actually come about? Because I know the Romans made huge use of it, but didn't somebody else create it?
I don't know.
Because
I
I,
don't
what
I
have
know.
the
think,
Romans ever done for us?
Because I think the Greeks fought in like kind of a formation. Just because if you have your flanks covered, you're doing a bit better than if you don't.
Yeah. I think many civilizations eventually got to that technological point of understanding formations. Or maybe, who knows? I'm sure someone does. Not I, said the sandwich. I'm just a sandwich. I ponder these things. I don't know. This world is new and strange. Look at this guy building blocks on top of blocks, and they're green and occasionally brown. Much like my soul. Green and occasionally brown. Oh, I am mostly through with season. I'm completely doing season 1. I'd say probably halfway through season 2 of Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. Which one was
Twin
that?
Peaks. That's the one where the girl dies in the small town. That was a David Lynch's show, his detective show, and I think it may have been the first one to kind of have a murder mystery last longer than an episode or a few episodes, like an arc, and was at the center of the show itself. It's pretty crazy, very fun. Season 2 does change a bit from season 1, and I am told to check out the prequel movie afterwards, so that'll be exciting. Have any of you checked it out before?
I have not.
No.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Give it the trailer a look. It's I guess I'd say it's reached that legendary status. Yeah.
Okay.
It's considered really trippy, and it does get trippy along the way. But when it starts off, it feels primarily like what we know as a sort of like just a general murder mystery show. And then slowly they introduce the supernatural elements. And it's also they add in supernatural elements. Like, well, I don't want to give anything away for anybody who checks it out. I'm sure someone in the chat's at least heard of it. But it's worth a watch. It's 3 seasons and a movie and possibly a book if you're really into it. The whole shtick is David Lynch doesn't like giving away like the he doesn't like giving away the arcs in his story, the official endings. He leaves the clues in his media for people to piece together. Yeah. So Twin Peaks. It's a little bit of horror, whole lot of mystery, and some comedy.
Christy asks, "Are you playing 2 different games?" Yeah, we are.
Is that your screen up there, right there, Wrangler?
Yeah, Raven is playing Minecraft, and I am playing Phelan.
I too can probably be gaming, but
and deprive of your awesome sandwichness.
It'll be on my mobile device, so I probably wouldn't be able to stream it.
Yeah.
Not immediately, anyway.
Yeah, Christy, that would have been confusing if you were trying to figure out how the 2 games synced up. They don't.
They don't. No, they're completely isolated from each other.
Yep, I actually intended on doing this last week, and instead I got sidetracked and did a bunch of other stuff instead. Because we were kind of showing off some stuff.
What are you showing? What's the SID? SID?
Hmm?
You said you were showing off something in SID?
Oh, no, just instead
Oh.
of because originally I had planned on doing this stuff with laying all the emeralds down and trying to help fill stuff in. And I got sidetracked on showing off some of the different things going on in this Minecraft build.
Minecraft. Who knew, man? That game, man, it survived so long, still going strong.
Oh yeah, well another one that I enjoy is Banished. I actually haven't played that one in a while. But in Banished, let's see how to explain it. Basically, you start off with a population that's been banished from civilization, and so you have to build houses for the families and figure out how to plant food for them, that sort of stuff.
Okay. I get it. It's like almost like an RTS survival, or is it like
It's so it's not turn-based or anything, and you're not really fighting against anything other than nature. And like if you end up with too many people and not enough food, then they end up starving. If they end up with no housing in the middle of winter, they can end up freezing to death.
Yeah. It's
And,
top down. You select multiple characters, move around, put them in different paths.
no, you don't actually. Let's see. You can like if you start the top field, you can assign villagers to it, but you're not like specifically selecting a specific villager and saying you go over here and do X. You just say I need one person to till this field, or I need 3 or 4 people working at this forester's lodge, and then the forester's lodge they go and plant trees and harvest them.
Gotcha. It sounds kind of like an RTS, but maybe a little less micromanagement.
Yeah, and in some cases it can get really annoying because depending upon what else is going on, I have had villagers that decide that they're going like they live on one end of town, and instead of working at the job site that's like right next to their house, they decide instead that they need to walk clear across town to work at like some vitally important thing, like the blacksmith and creating the tools that the villagers need to actually get work done. And so because they have to walk clear across town, they don't have enough time to actually do enough work during the day. So say they only get half the number of tools done that they need to. So now because they're generating less tools and you've got more villagers needing more tools, whenever the villagers run out of tools, it ends up taking them longer to actually get their work done. And so you can end up getting these cascading effects that just get really annoying.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get you. It's a lot of time management.
The nice thing is that you start off, you can build any structure, whatever you want. Unlike like some of the SimCity games or whatever, where you have to build this thing or that thing before you can build, or like you have to build up a certain number of them or get to a certain level before you can build something. Nope, you can start off the game and you can build anything you want.
All right.
However, if you build something that's kind of useless for you at that point in time, you've wasted your time.
So it's very punishing, it sounds.
Yeah. So like if the first year that you start off with like a new city, I typically try to build like a long house, so that way all the families at least have some place to stay and they don't freeze to death. And then
Yeah.
my secondary thing is food, and getting food available to stockpile for the winter. Because I've had some instances where I've got the food going on. I've been building individual houses and stuff, and then I have one family that does not have a house built, and they end up freezing to death.
As one does.
Yeah, and so then you have one less family creating kids, and the thing is that kids from the same family won't marry each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Don't you just hate it when that happens?
So at work today, I had somebody come up to me and
Uh-huh.
hand me a comic book.
Ooh.
Innovators #1 from.
Innovators.
I never heard of it.
Neither have
It's
I.
from Dark Moon Productions. This is #1. It was April 1st, 1995.
Huh.
Or
Huh.
not April 1st, but April 95, issue 1.
All
I
right.
haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna look it up. I think he said he knew a guy who was involved in it. This was an indie project, so he said he was gonna give me this comic, and he was giving that guy one of my books.
Oh wow. Okay.
Cool.
But I've never heard of it, so I don't know how many are in this series. I'm gonna have to look it up. And back at that time, I don't think we all had Kickstarter to get projects going. So
Yeah.
I'm curious how this came about.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
Unfortunately, I have no more info on that right now. That did take me by surprise, though. Here's an indie comic from '95, issue #1. It's like, whoa, thanks, man. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That certainly is a find.
Yeah, in a little bit when I get back to my when I get back over to the computer desk, I'll put it on screen.
Mm.
It's not mint condition or anything, but
Hey, it's readable.
it's in decent condition. Looks like it's
Cool.
been passed around a little, but it's not falling apart or nothing like that.
Well, that's good. Oh, that reminds me. I ended up participating in 2 of the Kickstarters that have been going around getting advertised in our various channels.
Yeah.
What was the one? Phenomenova and the hero that gets bullied by the evil woman. I can't remember what the name of it was.
Is it Relentlessly Bullied Hero?
Yes, that one. I was
Is
like,
that really
well,
what it's called?
yes.
Royce loves that one right now. I think he said on a stream the other day that is his current favorite indie project to read.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, well, isn't she like a goth girl or something?
That might have something to do with it concerning Royce, but in
Yeah.
all honesty, I don't know, because I've backed so many projects right now that I can't dive into anymore. And if I start looking up more, I'm going to want to get them.
Yeah, I haven't backed any in a while, and I'm kind of sitting in a spot where I'm not quite sure. And I was looking at it, I was like, considering some of the stuff that I may be writing on the story, like much later on, I thought it might be some good inspiration. And then after I got done funding that one, then the Phenomenova one showed up the next day, and so with the Relentlessly Bullied one, I got the ketchup pack that has. I'm trying to remember if it was two different things or one thing altogether, but I got both the physical and the digital episodes 1 through 3. Um, since it's at the third episode, and then and because I got the physical because I want a physical copy, but then I also got the digital so I can read the digital and tear up the digital and not mess up the physical, right?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't too terribly expensive for me to do that, and so okay, I'll go ahead and do that. Not a big deal. And then with Phenomenova is like he was asking about it like the next day or something, and that's kind of at the same place as well. It's on episode 3, and then I think maybe that was part of my thing on holding off on some of these indies is that they look like they're going to go a bunch, and then they only have like 1 or 2 episodes, and then I never hear from them again.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
figured,
I have Phenomenova #1, and I would eventually like to continue because it was an interesting premise.
yeah,
But like I said, I got project. I can't even remember which projects I got back right now. I got to let them all come in and make sure
Yeah.
all my payments are settled out before I start backing more.
yeah.
Hopefully, I'll have an opportunity to go back and get number 2, 3, and whatever it's up to by the time I'm able. But
And
then
so
there's Patrick Quinlan's books, which have a similar name, Phenomenon.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm not sure. I think the two guys know or are aware of each other. But was it Frederick who was? Yeah, I think it was Frederick when we were doing the review for Phenomenon #1. We were joking about let's
Yeah.
go on there and say Phenomenova, and then act like this. Just that's it, and then like see if anyone picks up on it. But
yeah, Phenomenova was they had a similar thing because it's also up to episode 3, and so that they had the digitals were $5, I think, and then the physicals. I thought maybe I might be able to get the digitals and the physicals all for the same price that I got the Relentlessly Bully one, but I think it was about $10 more for all of them. But the and the physicals were weird because let's see, I think they totaled. See, I think the physical was 45 for all 3, but
Uh-huh.
I wanted one of I wanted the cover with the bad guys on it. And so I started digging through and trying to figure out, can I get the individual ones? Does he have 1 through 3 available? Because number 3 is obvious, but can I get 1 and 2 without getting the package deal? And it was weird because book number 1 was $20. I was like, oh no, is book number 2 also going to be? Nope. It was like $10, and then book 3 was 15. So being able to get all 3 individually turned out to be 45 as well, and so I was able to get the cover that I wanted. It just they were not priced
oh,
the
cool.
same. They were not priced the same, and so it was kind of like each of them should be 15. One is 15, one is 20, and one is 10. Okay. But yeah, I think one of those is coming out the end of August, and then I think the other one is supposed to be coming out the end of November or December, I think.
Yeah. There's that's the issue with a lot of indie publishing. There's just, you know, you just really don't know if they're going to keep to their own schedules. You hope they do. Some of them do. Seems like plenty of them don't, though.
Yeah. That's something Patrick Quinlan's pretty good about. He said he's making it a point to try to deliver at very regular schedule.
Yeah.
That's good.
They all should, man, because they're all essentially their own publishing houses now.
Yeah, pretty much. Here it is. Innovators number 1.
Innovator.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
And I have no idea what it's about yet. Now, one series I caught up on recently is the Apollyon series in the Godfrey universe. And it was on his, it was this nice, I think it was called the Ketchup Bundle or something. I got
Ketchup
everything
bundle.
so far in the series.
Oh, wow.
And what were these called? Ash cans, the smaller ones?
Is that what they call those?
I think I used to get like Archie comics off of in line at the grocery store when I was younger that were in these dimensions for a book.
Huh.
All right.
They were smaller, they were thicker. Because here's the typical comic book size, and there's the smaller one, but it's thick.
Yeah.
Yep.
With a few unusual looking fellas in there, but but the guy who does this, he said it's a mix of sci-fi and fantasy, and that's right up my alley. So I ordered them, and they showed up pretty quick. I mean, their shipping was good, so I feel kind of bad that I haven't actually gotten into reading them yet. It's like he got them out here so quick, and it's like now I haven't gotten to it yet. I feel bad.
I know what that's like. I got plenty of books to read. Got plenty of games to play. Plenty of work to be done. Not enough time for it all.
Yeah. Christy says, does anyone else go mental when someone dog ears the pages of a book?
Is that when you just fold the corner over?
I think so.
I would do that with, granted, my books, not library books. I would do that with my books as I was reading through. Didn't do it a whole lot. I preferred having sorry, my brain is gone tonight.
Have a great night, Christy.
Yep, have a good night, Christy.
Ooh.
I prefer to have like a bookmark or something to put in the book. But if I didn't have one for some reason, just right then, and oh man, I need to get one whenever I get home, then I might fold the corner over. But I definitely do not do that with like comic books and such.
Yeah. Now here's a, you know how a lot of people, I guess they write in the books, they take notes in the margins of the pages or something.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that.
My aunt read everything like that, whether it was textbook, storybook,
Oh gosh.
informational. She always did notes in there. And so she thought that's how you read. You're supposed to do that. To the point where the library started to complain.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And she was brilliant in some areas, no common sense in others. She was brought up taking notes, and so she thought that's just how you do it, and she would do that with her library books.
I gotta
And
put that in the comedy,
yeah,
man. You gotta stop putting notes and everything. Well, I was brought up taking notes, young man.
but when she was scolded by her siblings for doing that, she's like, "Well, doesn't everybody do that?" You know.
Yeah.
But
School
but
books.
in later years, she unfortunately started to fade and became very childlike again. Now, after she passed, it took us a while to get in and clean out her room. But I now have 3 big bags full of books and stuff. My folks went through them and said, "Here, can you throw these in the dumpster?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Why am I going to throw books in a dumpster?" Well, it turns out she
Yeah.
had gone through, not only marked them all up, but tore out pages to make collages and all that kind of
Oh
stuff.
gosh.
And so this was months ago that my folks asked me to throw them in the dumpster at work. And I still have them in my truck because I cannot, with the physical media issues and everything today, I
Uh-huh.
cannot bring myself to
Yeah.
throw them out, even if the bunch of them have been hacked up. It's like, this is still information that might, yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah. Well,
And I don't know what to do with them.
in junior high and high school, we got in trouble if we, granted, it was private school, and so they tried to keep the books for as long as possible. So we would get in trouble, and we would have to pay if we like marked them up or did anything. But then you get to college, and it's like kids will pay extra for the notes and the margins and stuff because that means that they don't have to take them themselves, right?
Interesting.
I'm just gonna barge in on this dude sleeping here.
And that whole thing you just said, it's like she just basically didn't know any better.
Yeah.
That's why I always kind of ask people every now and then, kind of, what's the food you eat? What kind of foods in your household? Because I remember just one day eating the food I usually eat, and it being primarily Latin based food, Mexican, probably tortilla with every other meal, sort of thing. And I realized, you know what, this is probably considered quite what's the word? Exotic for some people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I realized, and I always kind of got into the fashion of asking people kind of what kind of foods in your diet, what your regular diet look like, basically. Just because it kind of, I believe it reveals a lot, sort of.
Yeah, I've been having an absolute fun time watching the Brits discover American food, and it's like you spent all these centuries conquering the world for spices, and then you never put any of the spices on your food.
That's
But
pretty funny.
Brits, but they really enjoy our barbecue.
Well, can you blame them?
Everybody
Oh,
enjoys barbecue.
yeah. Well, so a couple of years ago, I went out to North Carolina to visit with some friends and stuff, and they took me to a barbecue joint. And I was not aware that people had barbecue that was not like tomato based, but like vinegar based. And I do not like vinegar. And yeah, North Carolina has this thing where their barbecue is vinegar based.
Vinegar.
I was like, yeah, can I have some without the vinegar? Plus, it was mostly chicken based rather than like beef or pork.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still give it a shot, though.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, in Kansas City and Texas, we have barbecue that's chicken, but it's like the vast majority of barbecue is beef and pig.
Back home.
Yep, and ribs, and I don't know the burnt ends. See, burnt ends get me because those are a delicacy in Kansas City, and it's like nobody else has ever had burnt ends unless they grew up in Kansas City, and it's like, why? They're the best thing ever. And basically, burnt ends is as you're cooking stuff. Typically, they will cut the ends off the meat because they're burnt. Well, if in Kansas City they actually do them up a special way, and so the edge of them is burned, but the interior is still soft and juicy. And so I'm, you know, if I'm going to a barbecue place in Kansas City, it's like burnt ends. It's like, I'll have some ribs, I'll have other different meats and stuff, but I want burnt ends. And part of it is because I can't get them anywhere else.
Well, when you want what you want, sometimes there's like, no matter what else you get, even if you're grateful for it, it just ain't a substitute.
Yeah. And barbecue is different everywhere you go. And it's amazing how much there are similarities, but then also differences. Like Kansas City, I love the barbecue sauce because it is thick. Like if when you turn a ketchup bottle upside down and the ketchup doesn't come out, it takes forever for it to come out.
Yeah.
That's what I think of for barbecue sauce. Thick, you baste it on while you're cooking and stuff, and then you add extra on afterwards. Down here in Texas, it is runny and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just I like the Kansas City's kind a bit better, but it is good. It's just I'm not used to having sweet barbecue sauce.
So is that just about everywhere you go?
What for barbecue?
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, like, you're in Texas. You're looking around. Is it all sweet?
the majority of the places that I've gone, yes. I think there's a couple of places that I've not yet been, or I've only had it a couple times, and it seems like the big thing down here is that it's runny. And then usually the secondary thing is how sweet it is.
What's the matter, boy? You don't like that Texas barbecue?
How sweet it is to have barbecue.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's usually
Where
pretty
you
good.
from, boy? California?
Nope, another cow town.
Moo.
California is actually the hidden home of great burritos. Oh yeah, so much great burrito spots down here. It's amazing. You get nice, chunky, fat, freaking burritos.
I guess the other thing is getting used to the runny barbecue sauce versus the thick. You pour the thick on, and then it's stuck on there. It doesn't come off. Whereas with the Texas stuff, you got to make sure that you get it on just right because otherwise it's all going to run off, and then you got to figure out how to get it back on again.
Very interesting. I enjoy barbecue sauce, but I wouldn't say that there's a particular I'd consider my favorite.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
I've seen that one in the store.
And I'm pretty sure I've had barbecue when I was in Oklahoma. I don't remember having very much of it, and it's been so long that I don't remember what it was like.
Oklahoma barbecue, or at least some
Yeah.
place in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Well, I worked in Tulsa for 6 months. And I think we went somewhere for barbecue one time. It seemed a lot closer to like Kansas City barbecue. I mean, there wasn't a huge amount of difference,
Uh huh.
which is probably why I was so surprised whenever I got down to Texas and found out that it was really super runny and sweet.
They like that there sweet barbecue. Yeah, yeah. Give you a heart attack by 45.
Sounds like the best kind. Come on, I see you, Snake, hanging out just right above me. You guys see that, right? Oh, there it goes. Oof.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm playing NBA Street 2. I'm enjoying the game. It's nice. I used to have the first one on original Xbox over a decade ago. Now I'm getting into the emulation game lately. So I'm playing all the sequels and old school games that I
Oh, fun.
missed out on. Yeah, yeah. It's like you're saying physical copies killing our games. We need I honestly think, well, I was thinking about it anyways, that emulators and emulator like sort of devices may be the actual only way to save some games, because it's going to
Mm-hmm.
take more than physical copies. You think about it. You have physical copies and they're all for obsolete engines and
Yep.
obsolete devices from decades past that are only getting older. So not only do you need that physical copy, you need the device itself and hope that it's not broken down.
Yep.
So games in themselves were probably like one of the ultimate forms of planned obsolescence, because once the console goes, so does the game. People talk about the server shutting down. You got the freaking game consoles it's like, all right, we're not selling those anymore. Now we're selling the third installment of the game console. That's where you can find all your games.
Hey.
Louis the 14th says, "Sup, guys? What's going on with the emeralds?"
Well, emeralding it, as they say.
Yep. Trying to fill in a hole. So I had this massive, like I went all the way down to the bedrock, and then I've been building up levels above. I
Uh-huh.
ended up with too many emeralds, and I was like, what else am I gonna do with it? I guess I'll be like a dwarf and bury it.
A dwarf, huh? Not all dwarves there, son. That's a little dwarfist.
Let's see, how full has this gotten?
You're a dwarfophobe.
I'm going to change that over to the other direction.
Yeah, these afternoons are nice. Well, nice indoors. It's been humid lately. Yeah. But it's been
And,
cooling down, or I should say heating up in the dry sense, which I prefer the dry heat to humidity.
Yeah, it gets kind of steamy around here. That's why we're not seeing Frederick tonight, by the way.
Yeah?
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, he's constantly worried about his computer overheating, and tonight it's just his place is an oven. His studio room is a total hot box.
Yeah, I know that feeling when I was younger. Luckily, the AC is working this summer.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised because it has been cool here in Texas for most of the summer, and when that park flooded, I kind of realized why.
Yeah.
Because the seeding company, the company that was seeding the atmosphere, well, we stopped seeding 24 hours before that happened. It's not our fault. Well,
You remember when you used to be called a kook because you believed that seeding stuff or
yeah. So,
bringing it up?
well, the funny thing is, my parents asked me what I thought about the flooding and stuff down there, and I said a bunch of
Ooh.
stuff, and they were like, "Your aunt just said the exact same thing." My aunt is in North Carolina, and she got very lucky in that she's high enough above a lot of the areas that actually got hit. But yeah, she was in the area in North Carolina that got hit. Like all of the roads that go into her place were completely wiped out, and she spent like the next couple of weeks walking down the highway to get to, you know, to get to the mailbox to go do
Wow.
anything. And she was like, "Yeah, it's like when I was a little kid all over again."
Yeah, that's one thing people need to prepare for is that travel you might have to do, and going without for some things that you should probably stock up for: some water, some canned food, emergency toilet paper.
Yep. That reminds me, I need to look and see if I still have an extra box of toilet paper if I'm gonna need to order stuff. Because of my move, a lot of the stuff that I had in stock has gotten moved around, and I don't remember
Uh-huh.
what all I have anymore.
As it happens sometimes.
What is this?
Oh yeah. You know, going down the path of the emulator, I recently found out how much freaking games came out for the PlayStation Portable. That was a very popular console.
Huh.
Yeah, at least a good 200, maybe more. There's a shit ton of games and a lot of decent ones too. And like I was saying earlier, the exclusives. There's some exclusives on there you're not getting anywhere else.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
why I think emulators is the way of true preservation.
Yeah. I had an Atari 2600 and the NES, the original one, not the Super.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my NES was in the basement when my parents' basement flooded.
Oh
The cartridges were all survived, but the machine itself did not.
no, heavy
It
water.
corroded.
Wow. Give
So
me a sec. I'll be back, gentlemen.
Alrighty.
that
Yeah,
was annoying.
I also had an Atari 2600, and I had a ColecoVision with a Atari adapter on it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the Atari ended up out in the garage somewhere, or may have eventually gotten sold off in a garage sale or something. But that NES, man, it worked for a little bit and then it stopped because it finally started corroding. And whenever it started corroding, that was the end of it.
I think after that, I had the NES, then the Super Nintendo, and And I did get a Sega Genesis at one point too. I played Altered Beast and Sonic and Space Harrier.
Yeah, I got lucky with the Atari 2600 because I got it at the high school garage sale, and it came with or at least at the time for me, an absolute crap ton of games. So like maybe 20 or 30 or something. And the NES I got on final sale at whatever the game store was at the time.
Radio Shack, GameStop, Electronics Boutique.
So there was a Radio Shack in the same mall, but it wasn't Radio Shack. It was, I don't remember. It wasn't a GameStop, but I think it was something similar to GameStop. It may have been a local chain or something. I don't remember. But it was like the closeout sale. It was like the last time the NES was available on retail, like because they were getting rid of them to make room for the new Super Nintendo. And so I got it like super rock bottom prices because nobody wanted it.
Oof. He hit me. The nerve.
But yeah, and after that, instead of getting the game consoles, I ended up getting a computer because I wanted to do all sorts of programming and stuff. I had a programming class my senior year in high school, or no, my sophomore year in high school, and then had the follow-up class my junior year, and then I switched schools my senior year. But I was dead set on programming. It was the coolest thing ever, and I wanted a computer. And I don't think I got a computer until after I graduated.
Yeah, I still need to get a computer. I'm surprised it's actually running this game. By the way, is it usually a bad sign when when you have a save station right outside a pair of double doors that look like the face of Cthulhu?
No, not at all.
Should I be cautious here, or should I just dive in with reckless abandon?
Yeah, dive in with reckless abandon.
Okay, I'm gonna go tearing through this temple like I'm the Duke boys. Yeehaw! Oh, I can't do squat. There's a gate right here or something. I can't get by. This looks like some sort of mechanism. It has 3 sockets for missing parts. Oh, so now I got to play. Now I can't do this like the Duke boys. I got to do it like Cooter running the mechanics, fixing the machines.
Got to find all the lost parts.
All right, so I need a carburetor, an alternator, and a shoebox. Why a shoebox? Because that's where we keep the keys.
This is the Feyland one, right? Correct?
Correct.
The land where the Fey are.
Yeah.
The land of deep lore and basketball. Very pretty graphics.
It is, although it is lagging right here. I got that. You know the NES slowdown?
Is that what they call it?
I'm getting some of that right now, but I think that's my computer's problem, not my not the game.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I can dodge while standing in the water. That's good to know.
I bet it's neither of which. You probably have a witch for a neighbor, and she's put a curse on you. You should probably go and deal with that.
All right, I'll go get a bucket of water. It's been kind of hot out lately. I'll be nice, and if I'm going to douse the witch with water, I'll make it Gatorade. That way she can stay properly hydrated as I tell her to get the spell off me.
As one does.
Yep. Or else next time I'm going to dunk you with the red stuff instead of the green stuff. I don't know. No, no, I'll threaten to dunk her not with regular Gatorade, but with the zero sugar version.
That's very particular.
Yes. Well, the witch might be diabetic, and I'm trying to be courteous in my rebuking of her.
All you need is a sniper rifle. Nobody will know. You just gotta buy it a year early. Go hunting, put it away, then wait for your window.
It sounds like too much work.
Well, it's not work at all. It's mostly just a waiting game.
Rodents. Can I take that arrow? I guess not. It's just kind of stuck there. Oh! Nope, I can't do that. Ah, ninja.
What happened? I'm not looking up. What happened?
I'm getting shot by arrows.
Oh no, not the arrows. Those actually sound like they hurt really bad.
Yeah, well, after they stuck in the wall behind me, I was hoping I would be able to oh, I can swim down from here. I was hoping to be able to take the arrows so I could use them later. Oh, can I breathe? Can I get air out of that? Nope. I thought the air bubbles would allow me to like take a breath. Let's see, where's the air coming from?
Air, yeah, that's the stuff I like. Just like Mama used to make, fresh air.
And every which way I'm going, I'm finding more gates. At some point, I'm going to have to figure out how to open these things.
You'll come across it. That's the way of the video game.
Yeah, so I loaded up Banished, so you can kind of see how that looks. Although this one is pretty far into playing because I've got a number of these trading posts. And so trading posts are useful because you can get the boats come through once a year and you can trade it, which is why I have so many of them because I want more than one trading post.
Yeah.
But whenever I do it this way, firewood is usually my main thing. So I have lots of forestry nodes, and then the foresters. So forests also provide for deer, and also nuts and berries and stuff. And so besides the forester, you also have a hunting lodge and a gathering lodge. And then the wood that comes out of that, you have your woodcutters chop into firewood to keep your houses warm during the winter.
Nice.
And so the forestry zones are an easy way early game to get all of those requirements: the food, the firewood, lots of food.
Now, what's the setting for this? Is it kind of medievalist or what?
Kind of, sorta. The idea is that let's see if I can find one of. So you're not necessarily fighting anybody, but here we can look at some of the villagers here as they just walk around and they're on their way to do their thing. Let's see. I'll follow. So Tristanford the fisherman is getting something to eat. And so if you really want, you can follow him around and see what all he's doing. But you can also, he's educated. He's a fisherman. His age is 24. He's pretty healthy. His happiness is maximum. His clothing level is excellent, and his tool is steel. So the better your clothing level is, the less likely you're able to, or the less likely you are to freeze, and the longer you can stay away from the house and like do work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he may be carrying something if he's bringing food back to the house, or whenever he's doing his fishing job, he'll collect fish and bring those in. But then you can also have orchards and crop fields. And so we've got a couple wheat crop fields here, and I've assigned one workers to these, which fields, as long as you make them a small enough size, you can just assign one person to them, and they should be able to work them all. And then
So
storage
it's like
barns.
Sim City, but the hunter-gatherer version.
Yeah. And you got to make sure that they don't freeze to death. You got to make sure that they don't run out of tools. And you've got iron and stone, and trees are your three main items that you need to. Three main resources initially. And so the logs you can turn into houses, the stones you can turn into stone houses, along with some wood. But logs you can also turn into fuel, the firewood and such.
Uh-huh.
And if you have cow farms and or deer, you can get leather. And if you have a sheep farm, you can get wool. And if I can find any of my tailors, let's see. Where Taylor. Oh, I had somebody die of I had a student die of starvation, and then I had somebody die of old age. So here's one of my tailors. He's picking up resources, and he's got beef and eggs on him. Okay.
So that's the goal. You want them to all die of old age.
Yes. And you early in the game and certain other points, you can get into this weird circular pattern of you have almost all old people, and you don't want that. You have to keep building enough houses and keep them rotating through houses. So you don't want to like massively overbuild on one generation and then not build anything for the next generation. Otherwise you end up with this weird situation of you got to wait for all the old people to die to free up houses in order for the younger people to move in with each other and be able to have children.
And you got to make sure that they are having kids, because we're seeing
Yeah.
a lot of lack of replacement rates all over the globe these days.
Yeah.
And that worries me because, I mean, I know people are advocating for we should have a lower population anyway, but if we have a lower population, some things are going to start to get expensive and then disappear from the market because we don't have enough people building it all.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And my blacksmiths, I usually, once I get it built up to a certain point, I'll usually continue to build blacksmiths. But if I have enough of the trading spots that I don't need them anymore because I'll end up buying the tools. The tailor, so you can make a coat out of leather, or you can make a coat out of wool, or you can make a really warm coat out of both leather and wool. And so if I have enough of both sheep and cows and or deer, then I have enough leather, and here's one right here. So
Go for the leather, outfit them all like the Fonz.
So I have a cow farm and I have a sheep farm, and looks like I need to get those built. But then I have a chicken farm.
Finger looking good.
And then I've got some of these houses that are out here in the middle of nowhere, and they just work the farms and the tailor shop that's nearby.
Uh-huh.
And the storage barns are full. And then to get stuff moved from like some of the farther away storage barns and stuff and get them moved and rotated, you have these markets. And the more people you have assigned to the markets, the more that they will go out farther afield and gather stuff from the various different storage barns and bring them to the market. And then kind of the same thing with the trading posts is that as you add people to the trading posts and you set up your products that you want to sell, they will go out and collect them from the various storage barns.
This seems like exactly the kind of game that you have the mind for, where you would find the right balance for everything. I mean, especially after seeing your ingenuity in Minecraft.
Well, yeah, part of it is also learning some of this stuff. I don't need anything from him. And one of the first videos that I found on how to play this suggested do the forest node because I don't always have them available, but you can also have an herbalist set up in the forestry nodes, and the herbalist will collect herbs which help keep your people healthier until you actually get doctors. But doctors tend to only work after people get sick. So it's one of those things where the more herbs you have people on, the less likely they are to get sick, but people can still get sick.
The more herbs you get, the better off their food's going to taste.
Yeah, and let's see, that was late summer, currently still late summer. So this yellow miasma means that one of these fields has been infested with insects. And so typically what I will do is I will go through and say harvest all of these. Oh, that's probably the one that's bad. And then have all of them that are stuck together cut down once they've been harvested. And so that way I can regrow them. It's the only way to get rid of the infestation is to cut them down. And hopefully you get them all cut down before they spread.
I'm going to start some background music, just a heads up. A lot of times when I first start the sound and whoever's speaking seems to get drowned out and go robots out for a moment. Hopefully I don't. I have the volume set right. There we go. How's the volume on that?
You sound okay to me.
Sweet.
Hearing it yet, or if I'm just hearing the game noise?
Yeah. I'm not hearing your game sound effects at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the issues with OBS is it can do the camera, but it can't do the audio. At least the way that I have it set up. There might be a way to do it, but I've not figured it out.
You know, for a while I couldn't get it to work on mine, and now it does. Although I have my computer on mute, or else there would be a nasty. Since I'm using my phone for a mic and a second window on here. If I turn my computer volume on, you're going to get some nasty feedback.
Man, it's been a long time since I played this. I'm trying to remember where all to go to find so once you build a town hall, you can get access to some of your statistics and stuff, and you can see your production numbers. and what your actual inventory is for the entire town. If nomads come, you can allow them into your city. But nomads do not have an education, so they decrease your number of educated people in the town for a short bit.
Freaking gypsies.
Well, if you need a population boom, it's a good way to do that. But it's one of those things you have to balance and figure out. Do I do this now, or is it going to cause problems later?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think from this guy, I was hoping he had stone and or iron, and it doesn't look like he has either. He only has iron tools, so. And I think the food is good. I'm at 50,000, 34. How's my production on food? Okay, I am. I am producing less food than I am consuming. But I am in a good position for that. Once I do have a good amount of food production, I tend to turn off the gatherers' huts because they are uber in gathering food.
Food is always good.
Food makes the belly go purr.
Oh, okay, that one. And then you have schoolhouses, and if you run out, so the fun thing is it can train. I think each schoolhouse can train up to 20 students at a time, and you want the students as close as possible because the farther they are, the longer it takes them to go through school. And then you also want extra laborers available, so in case the teacher dies, you have somebody to automatically refill the teacher position, or else all the students out of the school, none of them have a chance to like start doing school again.
Yeah, man. Then all those parents have got to start teaching their own kids.
Well, not only that, but all the time spent teaching them has been wasted. Let's see. Where? Quarry. Oh, come on. There, this one. And I tend to have a bit more windows open than I probably should, but I tend to keep them open because, like the fishing docks, this circular area around it shows you where it's fishing. And so if you have any overlap between the fishing docks, then they end up wasting, or they can't get as much fish because they're trying to share this fishing area. Oh, come on.
Bam.
Okay, where was that field? I forgot to pull up one of those fields that had the bug infestations.
It kind of reminds me of this survival game I was playing. A lot of ones I play kind of have that heavy management style. Except it was like going for ultra hardcore realistic. So it's like you'd have to make every microscopic item to fashion a particular item, so to say.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's like you want to make a cup. Well, you got to get clay, which means you got to get a shovel first, so that way you can pick up clay. You got to make sure you got a shovel, and then you got to have a basket, so that way you get somewhere to put clay when you're done, and then you got to mold it.
I
You
am
better know how to
reminded of
mold.
the song.
You got a fire going.
There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. Have you ever heard that one?
I haven't.
Well, fix it,
Not in
dear.
years.
It's like, well, fix it, dear Henry, and he's like, let's see, what is it? He doesn't have something, and so she tells him to go and get it, and he can't because in order to get it, he needs a knife. Well, why doesn't he go and get the knife? Well, because the knife is dull. And she tells him, well, sharpen it. Well, he needs water to put on the whetstone to wet the whetstone. And she tells him, well, go get the bucket to put water in the bucket so you got water for the whetstone.
Yeah.
Well, he can't because there's a hole in the bucket.
Just one thing after another. We've all been there.
Oh, come on. Yep, as I was afraid, the next field
Oh,
got infected. Oof, this one looks bad too. I'll just cut it down.
But those games can be really fun if you're into the whole management thing.
Yep, and I did a lot of streaming of this game, and I had lots of people come in and ask questions, give me suggestions. It was a really fun thing to do until Twitch ruined it all.
What happened with that Twitch? I mean, this time.
Oh, no, I'm talking about like years ago. I stopped streaming on Twitch quite a while ago.
Oh, okay, so this was one of the old school games back in the day then.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I'm playing this off of Good Old Games, but I think this is also on Steam.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find... Because Steam would tell me what year it was actually released. Steam is not even bothered to start up automatically.
Yeah, I'm playing this one on Steam.
Yeah, like I used to have Steam would just automatically load whenever I rebooted the computer, and apparently it's no longer doing that anymore. So I don't know, maybe it's because I haven't agreed it to one of the newer subscriber updates or something. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, probably in my favorites. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, I'm playing NBA Street on my little handheld emulation device, and you can tell it is so inspired by the Tony Hawk franchise.
Hi.
Hey, dear friend.
What's up,
How
Otter?
goes the world? And
I just got finished with some evening writing. I'm just kind of chilling at the moment. How's everybody doing?
Hey, Otter.
Doing
Ray.
okay.
Yeah, so this actually came out in 2014.
Classic.
What game is this?
Banished.
Oh, I think I've heard of it, but I haven't really seen much gameplay for it.
Yeah, well, at this point, it is kind of an old game. But I had fun streaming it back in the day, and I had lots of people show up, ask me questions, talk to me about strategy and stuff. Because it is one that where if you're just getting started, you can have a lot of problems with your entire villagers.
Yeah.
You know, all your family's initially dying out, and then you're stuck with nobody, and you get to start over again. And earlier, I had a student starve to death because he couldn't get to food, and I have no clue how that happened on this map.
Oh
And
no!
I had an old person die immediately after, so maybe they got stuck around the edge or something. Because I do have a couple bridges that go across in different places, and it could be they got across and then they wandered off into some place and got stuck in some situation where they couldn't figure out how to return.
I'm also looking at that UI.
Oh, I've got lots of windows open, just because
Just a couple.
one of the things is that, like on the forestry nodes, I want this yellow outlines the edge of the node for the different buildings within it, and so whenever I set two of those up together, I don't want those lines overlapping, and so that's kind of why I have all of them set up over here. But then so these are kind of your general numbers about how much wood, how much stone, how much iron, firewood, food, that sort of things. And then this one is my limits. So if I get over 4,000 logs, the loggers will stop. Well, they will finish cleaning up what they were working on, but they won't log anymore until the number of logs drops below this number. Same with food, same with the other different ones.
All right, I gotta head out, guys. Have yourself a good one.
All right, have a great night, James. Thanks for stopping in. You want to chill before you go? Oh, he's already gone.
And he's gone.
There he is, off to the
Shame.
pantry. That sandwich.
So what all have I missed tonight?
Not a lot, but hey, since you're here, I wanted to get your take on this.
All right.
Are you familiar with the Tiffany effect?
I am not actually. What's it about?
Okay, I guess I can't remember. I just learned about it today. I think it stemmed from a novel. It was a medieval novel. They were medieval based, and there was a character named Tiffany in there. Well, a lot of the audience was pulled out of the story because they thought it was not a very modern sounding name in a medieval setting, and it turned people off. The thing is, Tiffany was actually a historically appropriate name for that time period. So the Tiffany effect is when you have something accurate to your setting that isn't part of the cultural zeitgeist. So they think it's something out of place, and it kind of hurts the story for them.
You would be surprised what is actually appropriate for like the culture and time period. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, so it's pretty much when people do the research, make sure everything they have is appropriate to the setting, and then people see that and go, "Oh wait, that's too modern. That doesn't belong there," and it kind of ruins it for them a bit. Have you ever come across something like that?
Someone telling you that a name is not appropriate for the time or is kind of anachronistic?
Like, have you ever come across something where when you saw that you went, that seems out of place, even though turns out it was appropriate?
So I barely played the game myself, but the immediate example I think of is in the first Descendant. One of the first major villains is named Greg, and he's like a sci-fi alien or something. And it's meant to be taken seriously, mind you, but I'm like, Greg? Of all names.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's definitely something.
I am Greg. I love it. But I just learned about that today, and I found it kind of fascinating. And I sometimes wonder if I've done anything that would be worthy of the Tiffany effect. Not that I know of, but. So, Otter, you remember the game I was telling you about, Phelan?
Phelan. Oh, is that this character right here?
Well, that's not the character. The character, I can name whatever I want. I named her the chick. I know, original. But the name of the game is Phelan. I think it's the world they're in. And the world and humans were made by fairy folk. And they're like the fairy folk in this. The fairies, they were godlike beings that created everything.
Yeah. Oh boy. I'm just looking at some stuff. I know I've talked about this before, but I've been recently getting back into a couple anime series. I take a spell of it every now and again. How much have you guys seen or watched of Hunter x Hunter, by any chance?
I think at one point I watched all of it.
Oh wow.
I think, or at least whatever it was that I had that was accessible.
Yeah.
It was like, what, 4 seasons or 5 or I don't know. It got to some point and I don't remember how many seasons. It has a lot.
To my knowledge, I don't remember Hunter x Hunter for like seasons really. But I do remember the episode count, and it's a high episode count, but it's not quite to the level of like Dragon Ball or Naruto or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 150 episodes or something.
I've never seen any of it. I've heard people talking about it lately, though.
Yeah, it's probably me. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's a fun series, so it's kind of like shonen, and you look at it and it kind of gives you the impression that it's the most basic shonen series you've ever come across. That's where it gets you though, because the series is all about misdirection. It leads you into thinking that one thing is going to happen before it goes along a completely different direction. So, for example, the main hero of the story is Gon, like a happy-go-lucky, like 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And he's on a quest to get stronger. Why does he want to get stronger? He wants to meet his dad. Why does he want to meet his dad? Because his dad kind of left him as a young child and with his cousin on an island, and kind of just went, "Yep, see ya," before he could actually know him. His best friend is like this cute little boy who's a professional assassin, basically the prodigy in a family of professional assassins. And his rival character is a clown serial killer who also takes very perverse pleasure from killing and torturing.
Oh, great. One of them.
And it's like 9 times out of 10, the series only hints at it. It's like, yeah, it feels happy-go-lucky, and then it just kind of tosses that in there. You're like, wait, that's a little messed up. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like, yeah, you're liking the tone of this whole thing so far? Now let's see how you like it when we add in the Joker.
He's like the most perverted Joker I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm going through like the fan favorite arc of the series, which is the Phantom Troop, and that's best way I can describe it is it's a revenge story mixed with a plot kind of reminiscent of Ocean's 11 or something like that.
Revenge and heist all at once.
Yeah, because the villains are thieves. They're like professional thieves and killers. And their whole thing is they want to steal the entire vault for like an underworld auction. Whereas like one of the main characters is actually looking for revenge. He's kind of a Sasuke archetype. He wants revenge for like his clan being wiped out. The only thing is he means business. So he actually plays his cards very smart. Let's just put it this way. Whenever it comes to the big fight with the first, like, member of their troop, he drives along, and before he's even fought, he's already brought a shovel with him.
So he's using the shovel to fight, or is he planning to bury him?
So it's a fun twist on shonen. It's part of why I like it so much. Yeah, it's especially an interesting twist because the world, like, I know some people would disagree with me, but it kind of gives off Pokemon vibes a little bit at first glance. You dig down a layer or two, you're like, no, there's more to this. Anyway, how's the game going so far?
So far, so good.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to figure out how to get to a few places.
I feel that.
All right, now I'm into some new territory here. And oh, what are you? Did you just whip your tongue at me?
I
Get
think
back
you
here.
did.
Can I go down further? Or... Nope. He's back to this armored armadillo crap.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Tell you what, since I found the hatchet, it's so much better than just the stick that I was using for a weapon before. I am Jana of the jungle.
Hear me scream.
What is this? Uh-huh. Okay, another one of them. I find mechanisms missing parts. I got to find the parts and put them in so I can use the mechanisms to open gates.
I'm also going to share this very quickly. This is an absolutely savage meme, by the way.
Okay, hang on. Let me switch tabs so I can get your sharing screen, right?
Yeah, I just started. So to put it into context, the main character's name is Gon. So people have made this little joke.
Oh, brother.
When you name your kid after what you're going to be once they're born.
Gone.
Oh, geez.
And that's all I wanted to share.
Well, that just brightens everyone's day right there, huh?
Oh yeah, so happy, you know.
See, can I? No, I cannot swing my axe while I'm climbing. Oh crap! Oh, bummer.
I don't think I've played a game on Steam for quite some time. Let's see what there is.
That's what I'm on right now. Oh, now there's two of them. Crap.
Oh no.
Oof.
All right, I'm in kind of rough shape here. Let's see what I got for chow. I need some cheese on this one. Oops. Apply. There we go. Who cut the cheese? And I can go take on that other. This dude really wants to save me a bundle on insurance, I think.
I think he wants to extend your car's warranty.
Get back here, Geico. I'm not through with you.
Are you willing to save 15% or more?
Depends on the service. Right now, his service plan ain't looking too good.
Well, I think they have a timeshare to sell you.
Why are there stones falling? Whoa! Balderdash.
You know what? I'm just gonna install Civilization 5. Watching Raven play that just makes me want to play some Civ.
Why have the chickens not arrived yet?
Now that's a real question. A very deep philosophical one.
So I have this one farm over here that was infected. And so I had to send the chickens out of that farm to another farm in order for the infection to go away. And so I sent them from that farm down here to, where is it? This farm. And so they should have gone over this hill and through here and to this farm. And like, oh, okay, there they are. Now I'm seeing them. And shortly after I sent them over here, I turned around and said, go back to the previous pasture you were at, because all you have to do is send them just like a couple seconds, and then, oh, it magically got better.
Oh yeah, I want to check something. I also haven't checked Game Pass in a little while.
Oh, what did I just find?
I've been hearing a lot of people playing Battlefield 6 lately. I'm curious about it.
Oh crap, it's a boss. And I was nowhere near a save station. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's no good.
And it did not give you a warning like it did last time.
No, it didn't. Oh!
Ooh.
Dude. Quit kicking my butt.
This makes me think a little bit of like Hollow Knight or something.
right, I definitely can't tank any more of that.
I can just hear your controller furiously tapping over the
Well,
mic.
I found a spot where I can be a little bit out of the way here.
Oh, okay.
Whoop. Oh, in theory.
In theory.
At least he doesn't
A
throw
game that's
rocks.
kicking my butt theory. Whoops.
Nice dodge.
Very nice.
I thank you, but that was pure luck.
Time to play some Civ 5 after years of not playing it at all. I am not good at this game at all.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since
good.
I've played this game.
Soundtrack, though, is freaking incredible.
All right, please show me a save space.
Where are my workers?
That is a good question.
They're avoiding work. That's where they are. One of them is going to the herbalist. Yeah, there's different goals and different achievements. There's different kinds of maps. And then since this particular version is off of Good Old Games, I can actually go in and clear out the achievements and start all over if I want to.
Oh god, this is already way louder than I intended it.
What's that?
Civ 5. It's like the narration or whatever.
Save station, sweet save station. So what do you think of the pixel art in this, Otter?
Oh, it's looking real nice. I really like it. Cannot be changed. Well, in-game. Okay. Yeah, time to tweak some options a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing how far pixel art has come.
A very long way.
Yeah, this is an indie project. It looks so good.
Ooh, ouch.
I know there's one more around here somewhere. Usually a third one of these little bastards. There you are. You know what? Sitting next to the double doors of Cthulhu is probably a great spot to close this out for now.
It's just another day.
There we go. Now, I guess this is a recent addition. When you make a character, you can make a male or female now. I guess it used to be just male, but
Oh, nice.
Well, when I got a little apprehensive at first, I opened it up. It said body type 1 or 2. I'm like, oh no, not another one of these.
Not this. No.
But then everywhere I went, all the NPCs were saying young lady, ma'am, woman, stuff like that. So it's like, okay. And of course, I just named her the chick, which I'm now regretting a little bit because now all the dialogue from the townsfolk, it just sounds weird when they say, "Good to meet you, the chick." But I'm having a lot of fun with this. Good exploration, and I'm getting a feel for the controls. They're not bad. I can't give a total judgment on the controls on this yet because my computer keeps lagging.
Yeah.
And that does. I mean, when it seems to be running fine, it seems pretty smooth and everything. And that new backflip is kind of nice for getting the heck out of the way. And this is version 0.5.06. Version 1.0 is supposed to be releasing, I think, next month or later this month. I'm not sure. So what have you been up to, Otter?
Well, aside from writing, one thing I've been doing is I've been, I do not want to do that. One thing I've been doing is I've been getting into, God damn it, this is way too loud. 1 second. Turn down the audio for everything.
What's up, Homer?
One thing I've been getting into recently has been the latest season of King of the Hill.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's been surprisingly good. I've been very pleasantly surprised with it, in fact.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Now who do we lose from or voice actors from this one? The one who voiced Luann and the one who voiced Bill, right? Or was it the one who voiced Dale?
The one who voiced Dale, you can tell. Like, the person they got to replace Dale, it's like, he's trying his best, but it's like he can only do so much.
Yeah, and whenever you got to do a voice recast on anybody, things are going to be a little off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And nobody can perfectly replicate. I mean, very rarely. The guy who did Porky Pig for years after we left Mel Blanc was pretty good.
Yeah.
You ever see the guy who does the voice work for Fred Flintstone? Obviously, he's not the original guy.
No, I haven't, honestly. What's going on?
He's a scrawny little guy and sounds nothing like his voice, It's like when you see the video of him in the booth speaking into the microphone of Fred Flintstone, it's like that voice should not be coming out of that body.
I understand that.
Homer says, I've been watching KOH as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've gotten to probably my personal favorite one has been the book club episode. I really enjoyed that one.
What was the gist of that?
Peggy is starting like why am I blanking on the name of those like little stands where it's like a book stand? You take a book, but you like put a book in there. And
Roadside libraries, the little free libraries.
yeah, like roadside library.
I want to
All-
build one of those in front of my house.
The problem is the first people who are like actually taking and adding to it all have bed bugs, and bed bugs
Oh,
is starting to
gosh.
spread.
Oh,
So by the end, they do the they just to hammer it home. They're like, we all have bed bugs. What do we do? I know what we have to do. And they just gather all the books in a pile, and atop it is Fahrenheit 451, and they just torch all the books.
oh.
Oh no.
I was dying whenever that happened. I was like, this is beautiful.
You know, the topic of the destruction of books actually came up a little bit ago. I was mentioning my aunt who, unfortunately, in her final years was mentally fading and reverted to very childlike state.
Yeah.
And she was, as far as creativity, she was brilliant. Could play musical instruments like you wouldn't believe. But when it came to common sense, she had not a shred.
Right.
And she was one of those not only who would write in the margins of books she reads, but she would also do it with library books.
Yeah.
And after she had passed, we finally went and to go through the stuff and clear stuff out. And she has a ton of books that were written in and pages cut out to add to collages because she liked a picture in it or something.
Mhm.
And so my folks gave me all the books that were in there that had been kind of torn up and said, "Hey, can you throw these in the dumpster at work?" And that was months ago. I still have them in my truck because I can't bring myself to throw them in the dumpster.
Oh.
Because it was like with physical media on the decline, I don't want to go throw away a bunch of books. They're mostly intact, but like a page or two missing here and there. I'm like, they're books. I can't do it. You know,
Right. Right. Oh,
I have no
completely
idea what to do with them. They're just taking up space in my truck. I can't donate them because they would just throw them right out. And I mean, I can see why there wouldn't be, but you would think there's a place to bring old, mucked up books to, like, preserve a few pages of something. I don't know.
Right.
I guess
you'd
I
think
guess
there would
it's
be
kind of
something
dumb.
at least.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a dumb thought. I'm pretty sure if I went and looked up any of these books, I could find they're still available or in print or something. And I'm fretting over nothing, but that would take a couple hours to sit down and look up every book that's in there.
Yeah, it sounds like a process for sure.
I'm gonna have to figure something out because I need to get them out of my truck sooner rather than later.
Right.
They've been in there for months. It's like, okay, they need to go somewhere.
Oh, I need to add more production. Of
No,
course
but
I do.
the destruction of books just brings really piss poor time periods to mind, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Already I'm gearing up for war in my little nation.
Oh, what are you playing?
Civ 5. Let's see. Let's have them go all the way down here. Oh, we found some nice barbarians.
Oh, that's always fun.
Oh, invite them over. I hear they're actually quite entertaining company.
Yeah.
The stories they tell around the table are awesome. You just better make sure it's still your table by the time the storytelling's done.
Exactly. That's the real concern. We found Shripada, and it's right next to a barbarian encampment. Oh, fun.
Oh, hostile barbarian, come sit down and play cards with me. Try and catch me cheating. I bet you can't.
Oh my
That
god, there's
won't
so
go
many
wrong at
rooms.
all. No.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep them stationary, probably.
What
I do
was it?
not want to do that while they're fortified. Thank you very much, game.
I think it was an episode of the real Ghostbusters where they were dealing with Ghost from the Old West.
Yeah.
And Peter Venkman sat down to play poker with some of them to keep them occupied or something while the others were doing something. So he
Right.
played along. So he sat down with them, played a hand of poker, and kind of sort of won.
Oh,
So
nice.
they're all showing their hand at the end, and they're like, "What do you have?" And Venkman goes, "I got 5 aces."
Oops.
He sat down with Ghost from the Old West to play poker and cheated.
Of course. Those sneaky barbarians. They're just staying in place. Oh, we discovered mining.
Because there's so much fun to do. Digging down underground, having all that stuff that could collapse on top of you any second over your head.
Well,
Real
obviously.
relaxing work.
Oh, and we found a nation state. I'm not gonna fight them just yet. Gotta give some time.
Oh, I guess I have 10 gatherer huts. I realize I am consuming a lot more food than I am producing.
Well, that's not very good for an economy, is it?
Usually not, but I was lucky as I had, whenever I first started, I had gatherers set to 0, and I just started adding them, and gatherers gather about 3 times as much as normal food resources.
Oh, so you're able to even that out?
Yeah, so I ran them up to 10, and that should help. I do have 26,000 food, which should last me, let's see, based on these statistics, use 12,000. So let's see, what we're in early summer. Oh, the other thing is that produce like wheat and fruit and such are not harvested until the fall. So that's another reason why I'm producing less food currently. But based upon the previous year's numbers, I'm about 8,000 shy, and the gatherers should hopefully account for that. Since I had them turned off and I just turned them back on.
They took over my ruins. Those bastards. Those are mine.
Tell them I said give it back, or I'll come in there with characters from other video games that are more action oriented to deal with it.
We're about to have a warrior. I'm looking forward to that.
Grab Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, throw them in there. Hey, those are the brigands over there. Fix it. I'll do it, Ken.
A warrior. I'll take that. Let's see, having a monument isn't a bad idea. What else do we want?
Oh, I was bored at work earlier today when I didn't have any deliveries going out. So I hopped under Grok and asked, how would Billy and Jimmy Lee handle being dumped into a Forgotten Realms scenario?
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and it pretty much showed how to. It came up with how you would probably want to make. There would be a dual class warrior monk, and the magic that they used in their games would probably be translated over to key abilities in D&D or something.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I just wanted a funny scenario to laugh at while waiting for delivery. I wasn't expecting instructions on how to make a character sheet for them.
Right. Come on, my fellow warriors. We go to do battle with the barbarians. That's way easier than what it was. And I played like an open source version of Civilization, and you could stack units in a single tile, and it got really messy.
Oh yeah.
I am taking the war path.
Yeah. So
It also said they would get themselves in some deep doo-doo due to their brash urban ways of dealing with people, and in that kind of setting, that'll rub a lot of folks the wrong way real quick.
Don't worry, we can crush the barbarians. While my scouts do all the exploring. Go on, men.
Another time I was bored, and this way I don't disappoint because I haven't made a Metroid reference once tonight. So here we go.
Here we go.
I put into Grok, since Samus seems to love blowing up planets, what would happen if she infiltrated Unicron?
I think she could easily do it.
Oh yeah, and then it was giving scenarios of what would happen and stuff, and saying, but she couldn't actually defeat Unicron because he's a cosmic being. She needs cosmic levels. I'm like, so I put in she adapted. She ended up with a phazon suit and stuff. So going through, she'd probably grab something. Her suit would integrate it, and she'd get a dark energon suit and start blasting that stuff right back at him.
Oh yeah.
And as I'm having this conversation with Grok, I realized this is the fan game that needs to be made. With Samus going into Unicron, finding items and adapting it to her power suit to try and get to the core where she ends up fighting his avatar and blasting Dark Energon right back at him like she did with the Phazon in the Prime series.
Of course.
And I'm picturing from the '86 movie the scenarios like that where she's running through, and that would make a great Metroidvania right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'm thinking this would be awesome. A soundtrack that's a mix of Kenji Yamamoto and Vince DiCola for different scenes. And I was like, this is a fan game that needs to be made. Complete with that, the planet's about to destruct escape sequence at the end.
Oh yeah.
What would be funny is if, when trying to find your way out, if all of a sudden Hot Rod, now Rodimus, comes by, you hop in, he gives you a lift to your gunship on the surface of Unicron, you take off just as it blows up. I'm like, yeah, this would be freaking badass.
Of course.
While the touch is playing, you know.
Is there anything up here? Oh no. Onondaga now has 3 people living inside of it. I'm doing
what?
well. It's a city. Onondaga.
Onondaga?
Yeah, that's the name of my civilization, or my capital, I guess. Oh, great for barbarians.
Well, they couldn't have picked a better name. I mean,
Want an embassy?
I love playing the Civilization games so much. My problem is just one more round.
That's the addiction of these games. Just one more round.
Una
That's how
mas.
it gets you. Oh, another city-state.
You guys remember Shanghai Noon?
Oh yeah.
Where they're sitting in the bathtubs getting drunk, and then the bad guys come busting in. They're trashed. But I mean, when they were drinking, Owen Wilson's character kept saying "una mas," and Jackie Chan's like, "What's that?" Spanish for one more. Una mas, una mas. Then later it shows them drunk. The bad guys come busting in, and they're like, "Nobody move!" And Jackie Chan goes, "Una mas," and a bubble comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Are we the promoted guys? Yeah, we are. Okay. all the way over here.
I think I need one more school over here.
Barbarians, if you try to attack my capital, this is going to be really unpleasant.
Yeah, surely they have better things to do with their time.
Oh, great! Now I can build. I can build like archers and stuff now. Now that's exciting.
Speaking of time, we're about 25 minutes over, I think, aren't we?
Oh, wow. Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Sounds about right.
We're just goofing off all stream, and all of a sudden it's like, guys, we were done like a while ago.
Yep.
I mean, it happens.
Yep. So I guess we should head to show time unless there's something somebody wants to address before we do.
Nothing really in particular.
Let's see. Can we tell the difference between otters and raven screens? Yes, we can. How? Windows. Lots and lots of windows.
Yep.
looks like you got this whole surveillance system going on there or something.
Me? Oh,
No, Raven.
Yeah, I've got a couple brand new construction project. I just finished this little area, and so I was watching. I've got young people that just moved in. The fishery or the fishing dock is working, and I'm trying to figure out where to put some other food production so I can decrease the gatherers again.
So what are you building up right now?
Me?
Yeah.
So I just planted a school. Let's see, a schoolhouse, and they got to cut down all the trees first, and then bring in the logs, the stone, the iron, and then they'll build it. And it's not necessarily that I have a maximum number of students just yet, but it's something where I've got a large population here. I just added in 2 new houses here, and they're going to have kids at some point. I have no clue where the closest school is that they would go to, and so the kids might be walking clear across the map to get to a schoolhouse.
Uphill both ways with no shoes. And we were thankful. What's up, Tank Fair? He says, hail to all you magnificent bastards and bestats.
Hail and God bless.
Hey, Tank Ferret. So here's one school way down here, and I'm guessing there's another one up here. Here's another one up here. So there are some fairly close by, but this is going to be much closer to this little town area as well as the new houses and such.
Cool. Tank Ferris says, just popping in to smash that like button. Thank you, Tank.
Heck yeah.
And it's funny, your chick version of bastards, Bastets. All right, now I gotta put Bastet up there. There we go. I don't think that's what he meant by Bastet, but there you go.
Not exactly.
Spelt a little different too. All right, I guess we should wrap this up tonight, so let's do some shilling. We'll start off with Raven.
Oh goodness. Let's go with Herman P. Hunter's book, The Revenant and the Cult, book 1 and 2. Really good series. Buy his book.
Yeah, I got them both in my grubby little paws. I should say all 3 because I have The Revenant and the Tomb, which is actually the first in the series.
Yeah, that one's
good.
good.
You can pick up Revenant and the Cult without reading the first one, and no problem. Yeah, book 2 and book 3, those are together. Book 1 you could read separate before or after, whichever. I don't think it really matters. Although I can't say for sure because I haven't read book 3 yet, or book 2 of the Cult series.
Book 2 follows book 1.
It does, but
yeah,
I think you can read book 2 without knowing the events of book 1 and not get lost.
So there is a synopsis at the beginning of book 2, and you probably can, but I would suggest probably reading book 1 first. Just
Oh, absolutely. If you can read them in order. Tank Ferret says, "Gotta bounce. Have a great one." Thank you. You too, Tank Ferret. God bless.
Yep. See you, Tank Ferret.
God bless, Tank Ferret.
Otter.
Well, if you want to check out my book, you can find the Curse of the Star Raids, the first book in the Steel and Stormbright saga, on Barnes and Noble and Amazon. Still polishing up the second book, but it is getting remarkably close to being out, so be on the lookout for that.
All right. And you can find my stuff on Amazon. I am working on book 3 of the series. This is one of the characters in it. This is Bastet, the Egyptian goddess. But the main characters are these two right here, Haley and Elizabeth. They are a blast. I think you'll really enjoy these characters. They're a lot of fun. They bounce off each other quite well. As well as this lovely lady here who don't get on her bad side. She is as much a main character in book 2 as Haley and Elizabeth. So you're going to get to know all these characters and have a good time with them. Anyway, just go on to Amazon, type in Bad Kitty Frequency Studios, and it should pop right up. 1 and 2 are out and available right now. Oh yeah, there's also social medias, X, Blue Sky, Minds, Truth, all under Frequency Studios, as well as Substack. I'm on Substack under Frequency Studios. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight and watching us play with video games. And pretty much we just had a goof off stream, and it was fun. And we'll probably do these many more times because we usually don't know what we're doing until we get here. And even then, well, we're just making it up as we go. And video games certainly help make it easier sometimes. Anyway, if you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like. And if you didn't, we appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time. And God bless.
God bless.
Good night.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Ba 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 bum. The only reason I know that song is, what was it? 3 Men and a Baby, I think was the name of the movie. Steve Guttenberg, Tom Selleck, and who was the third guy in that? I can't remember. You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
What's that sound? Do I hear lasers?
Choo, choo. Why isn't it playing?
Jewish space laser.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I really need to attach the mouse. This little hit finger touch mouse pad on the keyboard just not as sensitive as it used to be.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, we're still. I should probably end it now. Good night, everybody.
Good night.